Hello and welcome to this weekend market analysis. I believe you can hear my voice. I know we didn't have a good weekend because last week was very erratic, and the past few weeks have not been really good for us because of limited trading opportunities, and the few ones we managed to take didn't really play out according to our plans. Well, we are back into a new week. If you are losing too much in the forex market, the best thing is to take a break, and that was what happened last week. We took a break, and we have tried to look at the markets again, look at the charts again to see what we have been doing wrong, and try to make some amends. Okay. All right, we are going to look into a few pairs, of which we'll be taking a trade or two. I think okay, just one trade, because we'll be looking into the American dollar crosses. I am still repeating the previous weekend market analysis where we looked more into the American dollar pair. So we are also going to look at the American dollar crosses again. All right, first let's begin with the Forex Factory economical calendar to see those high impact news events that are scheduled for this week. We have some high impact news events here. Those ones colored in red. Tomorrow is all the Japanese bank holiday. That should affect the Japanese yen crosses. We have importantly here the employment data and unemployment rate coming from the Australian dollar axis. This is more of the NFP that usually affects the American dollar and the Canadian dollar. So that of the Australian dollar will be released on Thursday. quite early there. I'm not sure we'll be in the market by that time. All right. Aside from that, we have others as a normal high impact news events, of which we have to pay attention to in the course of trading for this week. Okay, now let's look into those American dollar pairs I was talking about. We are going to do a top-down approach analysis, reviewing from the monthly time frame to the daily time frame. This is the part-time market analysis, so we'll do from monthly to the daily time frame. All right, let's begin with the euro against the American dollar. This is the monthly time frame. I think we have done this before. Let me just go ahead and do it again. We have this area here that was holding price. In fact, lower swing lows and lower swing highs. That's a trend in the monthly time frame. So we are going to mark that trend line. We need to be very precise with our lines. Somebody told me, one of my mentors, of course, I said, if you want to already get those bounce points, then you have to if you change your chart to the line graph instead of the candlestick graph, you are going to get a better trend line of where price has been reacting off. Okay, and I think this is that was a new information that I actually value. So that's the line graph. I am going to change now to the candlestick. All right, so with the candlestick, you can actually see how, although not really precise, you can see how price has been respecting that area there as resistance. Of course, if we are drawing with the candlestick, that line will be running through somewhere in there. Let me try to see the difference. It will be running through somewhere around in there. That high. In fact, the last retracement there, the last bounce here wouldn't have even touched the trend line. The last bounce there would not have touched the trend line. So I think that information is important. You change to the line graph. Where is it again? All right, you change to the line graph. That's it. The red line here is with the line graph. The pink line you have there is with the candlestick graph. So quite a lot of difference there, and of course you can see how price has been respecting that area. Here you can see how price didn't really hit the lines, okay, but then it turned around. So if you change to the candlestick pattern, you are going to see that price actually touched the line graph. So just some trick here. All right, I know what to do now. So whenever we're drawing our trend lines, we are going to very likely observe the line graph, the line trend line, to see what am I talking about. The line level of support and resistance, and the candlestick support and resistance. Okay. All right. So for now, I'm going to take this one off. Whenever it is time to take a trade, we will do that detailed analysis. So let me just keep this somewhere here. Keep it right here. I think it's going to cover for both the line, okay, and the candlestick pattern. All right, now to okay, we can keep another level of support here. Maybe somewhere here. Let me see. This one. Before that one, we could have this one here, which is actually being retested right now. That level there has been holding price here as resistance, here again as support. So price in the euro against the American dollar is trading around support zone, so we are not looking for short entries against that level. That's one point that is established. You can actually see that level. That's it in the weekly time frame. That level there, which has been acting as support. Okay, weekly time frame, it could double this level here can double with the monthly time frame as support. Of course, will double there. So this level here reacted off the monthly level of support right here, and also here as support. But let's just for the sake of simplicity, let's take this one out. In the daily time frame, we are aware we are trading just right around the monthly level of support. So we are actually going to be analyzing what's been going on here. Let me take out the monthly line so I don't confuse you, but bear in mind that we are trading around the monthly level of support. All right, now in the daily time frame, price made a nice fall, and after then it has gone sideways. Okay, sideways, what pattern do we have? Let's draw our levels of support and resistance. We can see this area here holding price, support there, resistance here, there, resistance again. This one, support, support, support. Okay, so we can draw that area and this one here. Let me draw that here. Okay. All right. Then to the downside. That's it. All right. So we have this one here as support, this one here as resistance. Remember, this is happening around the monthly level of support. We have already drawn that. Now, looking into the 4 hours time frame, what's been going on within this range? There is a pattern developing within here. You can have that connecting these two highs, connecting that low. Let's draw that in the 4 hours time frame. Okay, in the 4 hours time frame, I'm going to link these two highs. I really do not want to mess around with this analysis. We have made too many mistakes already. Okay, that's that one there as resistance. Right there, confirmed level of resistance to the downside. That's it. So the channel actually started here. This one, I think this one to the channel actually started here. You can see that respected here. This one confirmed last week Friday. That means for now, in the euro against the American dollar, price is within a channel, and the directional bias is more to the upside. If you look into the daily time frame within that channel, you will see how we got a solid bounce off that level of support, that channel level of support. That is actually a good hint that for this week we should be looking for long opportunities in the euro against the American dollar. All right, so that's it. That's the position. Nothing more to that. So anytime price comes somewhere close to this region, we should be looking for a buy opportunity, targeting at least the upper boundary of that channel. It is still a very fresh channel, still very young, still very early, so we should be confident looking for trading opportunities within this channel, and also that price is trading around the monthly level of support zone, so it's a good point to look for a buy opportunity. All stop losses should be below this level. It is, if it is hit, we will take our loss and walk away. All right, the next one is let me bring up a similar one so we can have it is correlated. So let's just analyze this. I think the market is just about to open. The sterling pound against the American dollar. This is the monthly time frame. Let's draw our levels of support and resistance. What do we have here in the monthly time frame? Let's scroll this chart a bit forward. This level here has been broken up and down. That level has been messed up. This one here is not okay, this one not here. Okay, we can keep a trend line. Yeah, we'll have a trend line from that high. Okay, all right, my line graph as well. All right, so anytime price goes close to that line graph area, I think the market has just okay. That's the line graph, a trend line. So anytime price goes close to that area, you should already know that there is resistance there. But to be more accurate again, when it is time to take a trade close to that level, we'll bring in a line graph. For now, just keep it that way. All right, what else? In the Monday time frame, at least I think we have dealt with. Let's just skip this one here. Nothing else. Nothing else. Other levels belong to the weekly time frame. Let's see the weekly time frame. In the weekly time frame, this should actually come there. We can have a trend line. Okay, that trend line was actually broken. That broke. You saw the breakout pullback here. Very micro price behavior, but the breakout pullback was actually there. After that breakout, we have been seeing pin bars upon pin bars, thin market volume for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks in a row. Thin market volume. Okay, nothing else as far as price is trading below that trend line. We can also mark this level. This one here seems to be holding price there as support. So let's mark that one. That's it. Support there. You can also mark the high of that double top. All right, since price is trading around the support zone, around support level, it's important for us to keep searching for long opportunities. We don't want to sell against that level of support. If price goes close to that level, we'll be very hesitant to taking long entries around that area, which could also be resistance zone. This is formal support, which may turn out to be resistance. Okay, so that's it. Support zone, good to search for long opportunities. In the daily time frame, let's see what's happening here. Then we have a very similar price behavior as it is in the euro against the American dollar. Let me just try to draw this here. Okay. This channel. Change this. Okay, take out this for you to see the picture clearly. All right, so in the daily time frame, it's also nothing far from what we are seeing in the euro against the American dollar. It is more of a channel, price respecting that area as resistance, and this level here as support. Okay, so we are swinging there, and price is moving to the upside as the next directional bias. It's important to search for long opportunities in this pair. The only disadvantage is that price is trading around the middle of this channel for both the euro against the American dollar and the sterling pounds against the American dollar. Price is trading around the very middle of that range. If this pin bar had happened just somewhere around that level of support, it would have been nice to hit on the buy button straight on. At any rate, I will decide what to do with that. Okay, so this covers for the 4 hours time frame. Nothing more here. Directional bias is to the upside. The next one is the American dollar against the Japanese yen. For this pair, last week we saw the hit. We saw momentum push to the upside, heavy bang right there, against the bears. Well, I am very optimistic that price just reacted off some levels of resistance in the very long term. Let's see the monthly time frame. Monthly time frame. Let me look at this. Hold on. Okay. Now this is the monthly time frame, but I would like to draw this line that many of you have shared with me. I would like to draw that more precisely in the weekly time frame. I need to be very accurate with that line. Okay. All right, this is what I'm going to do to be very sure there is no level of resistance around that area. I'm going to pick the high. All right, those highs right there. Anyone that can connect as the outer trend line, that is exactly the line I'm going to keep. So the high beginning from the focal point there. Okay, let me see. All right, so that's it. That bounce, this one here, this one right here. This one didn't really hit the line, but very close to it. This one as well, close to it. Right now we are trading around that area. Okay. If you want to draw the inner trend line, you can draw this one. That one there, which of course has been broken, and price is sitting in the middle of the outer trend line and in between the outer trend line and the inner trend line. So the level of resistance is not yet over, and as you know, we keep just the outer trend line. So I'm going to change that color. Okay, what else? In the American dollar against the Japanese yen, I have been looking at price action for quite some time now, and I am still convinced we are going to have what looks more of a channel. From there on, this is not an ideal location for me to look for buy entries. Okay, so I'm going to keep this level here as resistance in the weekly time frame. Okay. Right, just because price respected that area for 3 times, so I'm going to keep that as the next level of resistance. Then to the downside, this one here has already been broken, where we had a fake breakout. Those bounces there. This was a fake breakout of that level, but we can still retain that line. Nothing more here, nothing else. This one here, not really significant, but the daily time frame can take care of that. Okay, so we'll let that be for the daily time frame. So in the daily time frame, let's see what we have. We can draw a trend line beginning from here. I'm not really relying on this trend line, but we can keep it here. That's the trend line. With price, this is the focal point. This one came close, also another bounce there. So we can keep another line as resistance. Former resistance. Let me zoom in this chart. Okay, former resistance right there. That's obviously swing high. Price bounce off that level. Came back down. The next time it went to retest that level, we got that pin bar. That pin bar right there. So many traders would have scored their losses with that pin bar at that particular level of resistance. For traders who were trading that pin bar off that level of resistance, this would have the market movers were able to trick a lot of traders, drove price to the upside, taking out all losses before we are seeing a possible turn to the downside. Now, If this one has failed, majority of the traders are still waiting for pullbacks, possibly to break a point, to look for continuation move. Okay, breakout, pullback, bounce, or a full swing reversal. Okay, well, we will know if the reversal is going to happen by the time the pullback is beginning to happen. So let's just be patient with that. For now, price is sitting high up there, and that is not a place you want to trade. The area of trading decision is this level right here, All right, so pullback is expected. Let's wait for that. In the 4 hours time frame, you can also have a counter trend line connecting this high to this one. Now, you must bear in mind that if the outer trend line in the monthly time frame is going to hold true, that outer trend line that we drew more precisely in the weekly time frame, this line here, if it is going to hold true, then all of these levels in the daily time frame, 4 hours time frame might not play out. All of these ones here might not hold price, but let's wait and see the type of pullback we are going to get. The American dollar against the Japanese yen, it's at a very critical zone, especially in the very long term, and I am expecting price to come down and make that reversal. Well, let's wait and see. The next one is the American dollar against the Swiss franc with monthly time frame. In the monthly time frame, we have this area here acting as resistance, so we are going to draw that. Change that color. Okay, which other one? This area. You can keep that area there. This level here has been jeopardized. We are not going to keep that. That's this little trend line. It has been broken up and down, so we'll just delete that one and keep this range as resistance there, and support here in the very long term. That's the monthly time frame. Nothing else. Weekly time frame. In the weekly time frame, we are having an area here acting as resistance. This one, with that bounce, price came to retest that area. We also have this one here. This belongs to the daily time frame, so we'll just draw for the weekly time frame. Change that to blue. Okay, now price is trading around the weekly level of resistance. Again, this is not an area to go long. This resistance, avoid hitting on your buy button against that area. In the daily time frame, you can already see a bounce, in fact a reversal of that area of resistance in the daily time frame. That's a hint that you should not go long against that level of resistance. This candle is a valid reversal that price is likely to go down. Again, you have to bear in mind that we have an area here in the daily time frame that was acting as former resistance. Right. Now, if you hit on your sell button here, you will be clashing with this daily level that was acting as resistance and may now become support. The best course of action here is to allow price move away from that junction of the chart where it has been trapped by support line and resistance level coming from the weekly time frame. Okay, so that's it. But at any rate, the long-term level there of resistance is there, and the best course or direction of trading is still to the downside. All right, so that's it. That's the 4 pairs that we have covered in this review. We should be looking for possible trading opportunities, especially it's either between sorry, let me just keep that to ourselves right now. If you are in the Telegram channel, you will definitely be informed of which one will be trading for this week. Okay, thanks for being here. I am optimistic we are going to make it back. Okay, just be patient. Let's see how things go. If you have questions, contributions, feel free to ask them in the live chat window, the YouTube live chat window as well, or in the Telegram channel. We'll be there to respond to them. Do have a nice time. Bye bye.